somehow New York has become more affordable than Houston. If that is so, how does that affect the growth of the African American family?
So the Weekly Reformer is Urban Reform's weekly newsletter. So if you want to sign up for it, go to urbanreform.org. So thank you for reading that this morning at 6 a.m.
Plug.
Right. So what Jeremiah's talking about is the headline of it was New York is now more affordable than Houston. It's not true. There was an article written last week by a Texas news outlet that said that New York was more affordable than Houston. And then a number of folks fought back and put out information to prove that why that was untrue, largely because of housing costs, as I mentioned before, taxation in New York. You have property taxes and income taxes, which you don't have here, and transportation costs. They're subsidizing a really ineffective transportation system, whereas here in Texas, yeah, you spend some money on a car, but at least you get to wherever you want to get to. But I do think, going back to the original question, I can't remember his name, but he asked before, it delays starting a family. It delays your opportunities to kind of advance the ball. We talked about how African-American population isn't growing as fast as it used to. Well, that's why. It's because of the cost that we see. And so when I mentioned before about land use regulation, I mean, I think that's one big thing that we need to look at when it comes to being able to start a family and start your life. You need to be able to afford a home or an apartment or whatever you want to do. But either way, as long as we have a lot of local governments levying these hefty land use regulations or, you know, mucking up permitting processes, all of these add to the costs of homes. Other regulations that they levy that delay or prohibit an opportunity to start a business. So I think a lot of these things come from local government. I think that's where a lot of this starts. And if we do want to fix that problem, it goes to our city councils. To a lesser extent, I think our school districts, so they don't do that much regulation in terms of what we're talking about here. But go into our city councils and trying to scale back some of the stuff that's making life harder in our cities, because it is increasingly becoming unaffordable to live in cities, and these were our original opportunity zones. I mean, that's where people came because you had a massive amount of people, ideas, opportunity, jobs, education, all of these things huddled in one space, and it made it easier than living in other parts of the country. And so we need to get back to that, get back to the purpose of our cities, which is to spur this economic opportunity.
Okay, we have about 6 minutes, 7 minutes.